A lot of people have said that the vice president has been cornered, and that is Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Pastor Yemi Osinbajo, whatever way you want to call him. He has been kept quiet after the issues that came up as a result of the Federal Inland Revenue. They claimed that some money were collected. We don't know who collected what. Are these rumors? And also, we heard about the trader money. It was reduced to a man that goes to the market to share 10,000 naira. Well, the same person, when Buhari went on his medical tourism, he decided to make certain positive impact on the nation. And when Buhari came back, Buhari turned everything upside down again. In fact, it came to a point whereby they said that there are certain people that he kicked out, and that is Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Buhari got angry, and afterwards, he was stripped of all of the powers that he has. And apart from this, we all know that the office of the vice president in Nigeria is like it's just a position that is not functional, as they are simply ceremonial vice president, as they do not have much say in government. According to the constitution, there are certain agencies and offices, portfolios that have been given to the vice president. But then these things are the things that they need to review, not because the vice president should challenge the president, but we believe that it should work hand in hand. What a shame. In fact, the vice president that we have in Nigeria, apart from he has kept his mouth shut, probably because of the party, he is supposed to be the president of Nigeria, as he has what it takes to move the nation forward. That is if he himself does not get back into the same cocoon, into the same corrupt pot that most of them are in. Anyway, let's go back to what people have been saying, the face of Buhari, but the hands of Abba Kyari. Recently, a memo got leaked out, and this memo was written by one of the security chiefs that we have in Nigeria, and that is Babagana, Major General Babagana, retired, in which he was angry. We don't know why this memo got leaked. Either he needs to let the rest of the people in that contraption called Nigeria realize what is happening, or he needed to score his own political point. One would never know. Anyway, Abba Kyari presently is holding meetings in Germany with Siemens on electricity contract. Now, a lot of people have said that Abba Kyari should remain as a chief of staff. What are the duties of a chief of staff? Or is just to get information from the president and relay the message to the staffs. These are one of the what they've brought up from the constitution. Now, let us go to why the vice president himself is not representing the president there in Germany on the contract, the Siemens contract, electricity contract. And also, why is it that the Minister for Power and the rest of that are not actually there? The Chief of Staff to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, Malam Abba Kyari, led a delegation of the federal government of Nigeria to hold a meeting with the executive team of Siemens AG on Monday on a contract deal of electricity generation, transmission and distribution in Nigeria, in which a lot of people have said, where is the vice president? The vice president should have led the team down there. In fact, the Minister for Power and all of this technology should be the person going down there, because this is his own turf. That is what he understands, and that is supposed to be what he should be able to handle. But let us assume that for one reason or the other, they decide to go en masse because there are other issues on ground, not just to discuss the technicality aspect of it. The vice president is supposed to be there, but now Abba Kyari is the one there. It is gathered that Abba Kyari, accompanied by the Minister of Power, which I said is supposed to be there, of course, Engineer Saleh Maman, they are currently in Munich in Germany to meet with the executive team of the Siemens AG. They were joined by the Nigerian ambassador to Germany, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, at the meeting. A statement from the Office of the Minister of Power, assessed by National Daily, indicated that the Nigerian government recently signed a 6-year contract with a German company, which will result in the effective generation, transmission, and distribution of at least 25,000 megawatts of electricity by the year 2025. The Siemens contract clearly puts the faith of the discos in Nigeria hanging, particularly as President Buhari has appointed Performance Review Committee headed by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Now, I don't know if they have divided, because if he should be the head of the Performance Committee, I'm talking of Professor Yemi Osinbajo, I expect him to be there on ground where discussions will be held on this. So I don't know, maybe they have different plans, maybe, I don't know, maybe you have a different opinion as regards what I am positing here. He should be there on ground to discuss the electricity generation itself with AG and Siemens AG in Germany. And afterwards, he comes back to Nigeria and also sits on that same committee to make sure that there is proper generation and every other person here has electricity supply. These are what people are talking about. They say, well, this man has been kicked out and he has been given mediocre job. The forefront, Abba Kyari, is the one there. The chief of staff to the president, Buhari, Malam Abba Kyari, and also the Minister of Power, of course, Minister of Power and Mr. Salim Aman, all of them are in Germany to push for the deal signed by the president to improve electricity supply in Nigeria. The team led by a global chief executive officer of the company, Mr. Joe Kaisa, confirming the meeting through its Twitter handle yesterday, which was verified by an official of the ministry who said Maman left the country on Sunday. The minister explained that he was in Germany to find ways of offering solutions to the current power problems in Nigeria, which I do not see as a problem as long as they are going to get results. But people are feeling that, well, the vice president should be the one there. It is always Abba Kyari, Abba Kyari. We don't know what position Abba Kyari is actually occupying. It will be recalled that the Nigerian government recently signed a 6-year deal with the German company, which will result in the effective generation of 25,000 megawatts, like I said. Now, let us quickly go through. Buhari tasked Siemens and other stakeholders in the power sector to work hard to achieve 7,000 megawatts of reliable power supply by 2021 and 11,000 megawatts by 2023 during the agreement signing ceremony. My challenge to Siemens, our partner, investors in the distribution companies, is said, the Transmission Company of Nigeria and the electricity regulator, is to work hard to achieve 7,000 megawatts of reliable power supply by 2021 and 11,000 megawatts by 2023 in phases 1 and 2 respectively. After this transmission and distribution system bottlenecks have been fixed, we will seek in the third and final phase to drive generation capacity and overall grid capacity to 25,000 megawatts. The president also said the agreement will be a strictly government-to-government arrangement to avoid the problem of going through middlemen. So the discos are already hanging. So what's your own opinion as regards to, do you think that the vice president should be there? Enough of Abba Kyari this, Abba Kyari that. Every time they claim that the president says something, Abba Kyari will overturn it, or Abba Kyari will create his own rules and regulation. And the vice president that is supposed to be the number 2 man, at least, he is supposed to, at least we should be able to see much more of the vice president as the number 2 man in Nigeria. And if the vice president is not there, why should Abba Kyari be there? Since he's the chief of staff, one would have expected that the professionals that are involved in such discussions are the people that are supposed to be there, such as the minister that is there, the minister that his portfolio concerns electricity, power, and the rest of that. And that is the subject matter ground there. But if any other is going to be there, it shouldn't be Abba Kyari. They said, well, at the end of the day, it is clear that Abba Kyari is the president of Nigeria and not even Buhari himself. Let us say Buhari is not intellectually up to date on whatever is going to be discussed there, and it's going to be, more or less, useless for him to be there, which we understand. He doesn't have to be there. The president does not have to understand how to discuss the electricity generation and every other thing. The minister should be there. That I agree. The minister will definitely have to go there with the rest of his staff that will handle all of this. If they need probably people to discuss the accounting aspect of it, the monetary aspect of it, and all of that, the minister in charge of all of this is supposed to be there to discuss this. That is how it is done in a Senate clime, and that is how it's supposed to be done in Nigeria. And like I said, what is the job of Abba Kyari? Is it that Abba Kyari is there to be the eye of the president, to listen, to talk, and take notes, and eventually pass it down to the president in a language that he understands? Is it that the vice president might have too much grammar probably if he has to explain to the president may not be able to understand it, or the president does not trust the vice president. Those are the issues, those are the concerns that are being raised by a lot of people. For me, I'm not bothered if the vice president or Abba Kyari is absent from there. I believe that the ministers that are in charge of such, the ministers that have that original portfolio that concerns electricity and the rest of that, those are the people that are there. And hopefully these ministers are professionals in that field, not a minister that will never understand, that won't understand the terms, the technical terms or whatever that is being discussed there. So these are the issues, these are my own concerns. But if any other person has to be there, I don't think it's Abba Kyari. But one will wonder, who is the president? And aside that, probably Abba Kyari will listen to this and then go back to Buhari and begin to explain to Buhari in Hausa language. Maybe that is the issue. Well, that's what it is for now. If you're not a member of this channel, let us grow together by you tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos are uploaded. Thanks for stopping by.